Years have passed. I returned to Paris and decided to stay. Its energy nourishes my spirit, mind, and body. I'm reminded of the older woman I met on a train long ago. Somehow she knew I belonged in Paris. I wonder where she is. It was a strange encounter with many unanswered questions. My favorite cafe is still part of my life. It's a bit of permanence in an otherwise constantly changing life. I sip my milk and honey-laced coffee, write and feel the energy of the Seine as it flows nearby. It's always a reminder of our beginnings long ago and far away. The destination may not be visible, but all flows together from common origins. Small but interesting and savored stories can take on a larger significance after a period of contemplation, like the older woman on the train, or a story my dad told me about his father and grandfather who had passed on before I was born. Like the older woman, Dad's story seems stranger than fiction, but helped me understand him a little better over time since his passing. Now I understand more about the complexities of cultural heritage, and Dad's story raises new questions about my family origins. I remember Dad telling me that all he knew was what his father told him. I wish he and I could continue that conversation. I loved the sound of his storytelling voice. His grandfather, whom he never met, came from a religious Jewish family. He fell in love with the daughter of a Christian Russian Cossack. She defied her father and ran away from home to marry my dad's grandfather. Not long after Dad's father was born, the father of Dad's grandmother showed up unexpectedly and murdered her for defying him. Dad's grandfather went on a rampage to find and kill him and other Cossacks who might have been involved. Eventually, Dad's grandfather returned home to take care of his young son, who had been living with his grandparents. Out of guilt, Dad's grandfather became a rabbi and married a religious woman who helped raise his son. When the boy was of age, it was expected that he would become a rabbi. He rebelled by running away from home. He never saw his family again. When he married and had my father, he gave Dad the freedom to follow his own spiritual path. Both Dad and Mom felt they should let me do the same. If Dad were here, I'd ask why he and other family members had black kinky hair, broad noses, and affinity for foreign languages, music, and other arts. Is there a family connection to the Russian Cossacks who attempted but failed to conquer Setlowe, a French-occupied North African country now called Djibouti? Or maybe a link to the Russian black Cossacks whose lives began in Africa. As African children of privilege, they were kidnapped and sold into slavery to Russian noble families. They spent much of their childhood in Russia, were freed, educated, and became notable in Russia. They had large families and traveled a great deal. The researcher, writer in me wonders what unknown facts there are about my cultural heritage. Countless people seem so sure of their heritage. Maybe there are greater truths to be known. Are we all more connected than we think? A world map reveals possible routes of migration over centuries for millions of families escaping life and death situations. Eventually, countless families chose to make America their home. It might shed light on the unexplainable connections between people of differing cultures, the haunting alienation between some cultural groups, and the potential for healing. Paris feels like home in a sometime confusing life. It's also close to countries where I travel and enjoy trying to speak different languages and absorb the music and other arts. In North Africa, I'm doing research for a feature story about the healing power of the arts, especially music. There is much to take in around the Mediterranean coastal communities. At times, it feels like some mystical sense of being. The other day, I thought I saw people I knew a long time ago in the States, artists who toured many countries. Sometimes I feel the spirit of loved ones and ancestors I never met. It isn't always easy, but I try not to question where my journey is taking me. The mystery of the journey can be the most meaningful part. I hope there will be many train trips in my future.
All aboard! All aboard!
My travels throughout the Mediterranean area to develop a story about the history and healing power of music have led me back to Paris. I'm at my favorite cafe near the Seine. It has been a unique journey, full of surprises and much to think about. I've satisfied my wanderlust for now. I want to spend much needed time in Paris, my home away from home, although I've lost track of where that really is. As I eavesdrop on the lives of the locals and tourists, I remember a train trip long ago when I met a mysterious woman much older than me. She told me I belonged in Paris. Her stories left me with many unanswered questions. As my mind wanders back further to my childhood, I'm reminded of how my love of wandering began. It's as if I'm understanding it for the first time. I can hear Mom in the kitchen cleaning up after lunch and preparing for her after-school dance classes in her home studio. I hear her voice as if it were yesterday. Sadie'll be here soon. Please don't wander too far. You know the rule. While I'm teaching, listen to Sadie and stay on our street. Okay, Mom, I'll wait for her. Then I'll leave. After saying hello to Sadie, I headed out our big red door. I'll never forget that door. It had been my red door, marking my safe haven since birth. I knew where I belonged. It was a different world back then. I could play in the backyard in my arbor and visit with neighbors without Mom and Dad watching me every minute. If they were watching, I didn't know it. I was too busy enjoying my sense of freedom, too young to realize what a gift it was to be free, to be in the moment. I was only 4, but I already had a bit of wanderlust. I was too young for school, and friends were getting ready for sleepaway camp. I preferred summers at the beach. I didn't have a plan for my alone time. and I wasn't required to do anything. I let my inner muse lead me. I felt drawn to the Sanderson home and knocked on the door. Mrs. S., as I was allowed to call her, opened the door and invited me for cookies and milk while she nursed her coffee. Mrs. S. seemed to enjoy our chats. She said they were a change from her otherwise male household with Mr. S. and 2 sons who were at school. Mrs. S. was understanding of my inquisitive mind and indulged my interview-like process into the Sanderson family history. She said she was helping a budding journalist. I practiced my reading with the town newspaper, so I had a vague idea of what a journalist was. And Mom and Dad had warned me that certain personal questions were better left unasked. In the middle of storytelling, the phone rang. Mrs. S. answered. "Hi, how are your dance classes?" "Yes, she's here. I'm being interviewed as usual. She's having milk and cookies. I'll send her home soon." "My pleasure. Take care." My server at the cafe is jolting me back to the present with her offer to refresh my coffee. She remembers me from year to year when I unexpectedly show up at the cafe. We chat. She tells me more of her personal stories. Some things never change. I'm still wandering around, learning from people and hearing their great stories. Often, music is a big part of them. During recent travels through the Mediterranean coastal towns, I'm discovering that the history and healing power of music seems to interest everyone. They've been inspired by or healed by music. I've come at home with train travel and nurtured by the people who share their stories. Some of what the mysterious woman on the train shared is becoming more and more familiar. It feels like I'm experiencing what she did in her younger years, and I understand more why she thought I would like Paris. No matter how far I travel or where I go, I'm able to revisit my beginnings here and where I grew up. And it's as though I understand them for the first time. I wonder if our memories become a vision for renewal. Are they part of the mystery of our lives? Why do we choose one lifestyle over another? Some people over others in one career and not another. Do we write the script of our lives or follow the direction of others seen and unseen? Perhaps it's a collaboration. And if we remember to embrace possibility, perhaps our journey can evolve into an adventure. As I sip my familiar warm drink, I wonder, where will my next train take me? I feel like an explorer, but do I truly understand the nature of exploration? Perhaps it's as simple as seeking inspiration or closing our eyes and letting our mind take us on an unexpected journey. Whatever the nature of our exploration, artistic collaboration is a critical component. It's a part of the journey, our process. The healing power of music could be a key to that process. That's what I'm looking for here with the Mediterranean history. It's people, it's music. Natural frequencies throughout the universe where sound isn't heard by human ears are being translated to audible sounds resembling music. It has limitless healing power across time and space. It's universal language uniting us all. The Mediterranean history personifies that, rich with music and campfire stories hidden within more music and stories. Cultural and language differences communicate through music's ability to create timeless bonds and inspire stories. The Mediterranean glistens in the late afternoon sun. Sounds from countless cultures have come together, stirring imagination and body with healing elixirs. Our ancestors bonded over a multitude of notes, resonating from diverse musical instruments. Music makers have gathered, bringing harmony to troubled waters. Weary travelers have wandered, seeking new homelands for opportunity or escaping persecution or genocide. Sometimes their music has been the only treasure they could take with them.
Notes, words, numbers, history, and healing hidden in the music. Healing occurs in spaces between history, numbers, words, notes, rhythm.
Since time's beginning, sacrifice nurtures possibility.
Lost count of hellos and goodbyes within the rhythm.
Moments brief yet long within space-time continuum.
Love and survival neither created nor destroyed, embedded in the marrow of music. Healing through music's timeless rhythm of notes, numbers, words. Music is notes, a rhythmic numerical experience.
Notes become words, a rhythmic healing story across time.
The soul of magical realism soaks through music's marrow and heals.
Destiny shifted by sacrifice, separate but equal, equal but separate. Magical realism unites with truth's song.
It's always about the rhythm, numbers, notes, words of time, the story, humanity's history. Heartbeat, 60 to 75 beats per minute. Favorite music's rhythm, the same. Coincidence? No coincidences. Music's love permeates lofty spaces.
Time stills, can't wait. The movies rewind, timeless. Where's the popcorn? Feed me, find me, destiny on hold.
It will call again. Music's healing power in the multitude of diasporas. Living in the moment.
Hoping to see you.
Where are you?
Our love spans millennia. I'm the muse of writing. In the early morning darkness, small town lights lead. Air fresh, quiet soothes. Soon the dawn. Sounds of traffic, people, rushing chatter of life. Deep within the quiet, morning light. Artists create, awake and asleep. The journey never ends. Passion drives, spirit inspires. Creativity, the breath of life. Intellectual jazz at the helm, steering the journey.
I loved you then, I love you now. Our love spans millennia. I'm the muse of music. Listen to the beat. It's the rhythm of your heart. Like an adagio, 66 to 76 beats per minute. The care of your being. It tells you who you are through the music, the beat, in the now, the past, the future. Listen to the beat, the core of the earth, your soul. It resonates beyond in the universal realm. Listen to the beat as it breathes life into all. Separate journeys together. Throughout history's mystical, biblical eons of time, the old is new again, and new is old. My music, your music, music all around.
Writers see words in the music, music and words fusing into the unexpected.
In music, notes become letters, which create words, which become phrases within the bars and grow to become the melody the soul of the music's story.
Sometimes I think I'm a word musician. It feels like I'm creating melodies in my mind in order to remember words and stories.
Sometimes I think I'm a music wordsmith. It feels like I'm composing music for the words and story in my mind.
We are different but similar.
Similar but different are we.
Then as now.
Now as then. Hear music, see its words.
Feel its healing power since time began. I type words flooding my mind. My fingers come alive as I hit the keys. It feels like I'm typing musical notes on a piano. The words create a melody, which is the heart of our story, our history.
Music of timeless spheres brought together in a fusion of understanding, inspiring to compel us forward within timeless surge of energy. A world without music is impossible to imagine. It's like trying to live without air, water, food, and love. Music is interwoven with everything. Notes make the words of our story our story. Our passions for music and words brought us together, but they found a way to separate us through millennia. I fell in love with your love of words. Your words bring greater meaning to my music, separate yet together, together yet separate. I loved you then, I love you now, but I've lost you through time. Where are you?
Notes make the words of our story. I fell in love with your love of music. Your music brings passion to my words. I loved you then, I love you now, but I've lost you through time. Where are you?
It's a tale of epic proportion.
A desire to be together managed by the need to be apart.
Separated by journeys, it helps to travel the earth to understand music's complex story. It's important to learn from the music of communities.
People take their music with them when they have to leave their native lands and are forced to seek a new homeland. Sometimes they have to travel long distances with only their love of music, their words, and instruments to sustain and heal them.
Sometimes it's a pocketed small harmonica which nourishes. Music's story and healing power are our human legacy. It's our past, present, and future.
We carry our music with us every day, everywhere. It enlivens who we are.
In search of the perfect song, we hum the earth's musical map of our story. We define possibility.
The countless diasporas form their own new homelands with their hundreds of millions of ancestors from over 200 cultures. The multitudes in diaspora embody the music of the land and sea which carry all to freedom.
We no longer have to be a society of wannabes, posing, posturing, passing, pretending.
Like the lotus plant, we can discover our originality. Music is our midwife for self-discovery, healing, and peace.
Music is the heartbeat of our escape, freedom's journey, and the resolve to build a new life in a new country. Music is our spiritual rhythm as we navigate away from our ancestral families.
Music heals our wounds and the broken lands left behind. Time and space collapse within healing moments of timeless, unforgettable music. Once again, I'm at my favorite table in Paris. I hear the tone of wind chimes, birds singing, and mystical music as if attempting to join the rhythm of my life, perhaps my future. I'm reviewing my recent Mediterranean travels, remembering the people who shared their love of music and its healing power. I can feel the influence of the older woman I met on the train years ago. There's Moncoeur now. Over here, Moncoeur.
Paris. What's your husband's name?
Are you okay? You look like you've seen a ghost. He has many names depending on what country we're in. People all over give him different names. His birth name is Clarence, but he doesn't connect to it just like I don't connect to my birth name, Catherine. I call him mon coeur because he is my heart. And I'm Paris because Paris brought us back together. Why do you look so shocked? I told you he was a man of color.
It's not that. He looks like a much older version with the same birth name as the guy I just left, the same way you left your husband so long ago. And I used to blow my guy kisses like you did just now to your husband. His smile is so familiar. Paris. Kamala is a nickname. My birth name is Catherine. I don't understand what's happening.
My pen name is Kamala. I don't believe in coincidences. Kamala, someday you should take a trip to Paris. It's magical in the spring. It's timeless. Resonates much truth. Life's a mystery unfolding.
Allah